Broadcasting to the world. It's the CK Mornings In Case You Missed It podcast with Chris, Allanah, and Matt. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. From our mouths to your ears, here's what you missed.
6 things you shouldn't leave in your car when it's below freezing like this.
Okay.
So when it's so cold, and parts of the U.S. are dealing with cold where they never have dealt with cold.
We talked yesterday, Florida's having a freeze, right?
Yeah. And like they don't know what to do.
They must
Never
be
dealt with this.
panicking.
So here are 6 things you shouldn't leave in your car when it's this cold out, okay? Number 1, aerosol cans. They can explode.
I was
It's too
wondering,
cold.
did I ever tell you when I left one in my car in the heat and my back window shattered?
What happened?
I left one in the heat.
What
and,
did you leave? Like
hairspray. I had
hairspray.
hairspray in there and it was so hot and it blew out the back window.
Wow.
I didn't know cold had the same effect.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Canned food is number 2. It can make the food inside expand and cause tiny cracks where bacteria gets in, and then you might not notice, and it's not safe at that point. So canned food. Eggs is another one. Don't leave them in the car after you get groceries. If they freeze and the shell's cracked, they're not safe to eat. I guess getting groceries and leaving them in the car, making another stop, is not a good idea.
Yeah, I got a case of water actually, and I'm like, it's going to be
you
frozen.
Don't. You have a case of ice.
I don't
That's
think
what you've
about
got
that.
now.
Darn.
Electronics, things like phones, computers, tablets, they don't work well if they get too cold, and it can also damage the screen. And condensation can then form when it warms back up, which could cause a short. Like my phone doesn't like cold, warm. Doesn't like really anything.
No, it has to be the perfect temperature for the phone.
Electronics, not good. Medication is another one. Some meds like insulin become unstable if they get too cold. When in doubt, toss frozen meds or ask a pharmacist. And then the last thing you shouldn't leave in your car when it's below freezing, loved ones.
Oops.
Kids, pets, and seniors are more vulnerable to cold weather. So even short amounts of time in a freezing car can be dangerous.
Huh. Good to know, because I feel like we see a lot of warnings about the heat, but the cold weather, I thought Grandma was fine in the car.
Grandma, you just sit here with your iPad and the eggs.
Hold
okay?
this aerosol can for me.
I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, don't do that. Please don't. Yesterday, Donald Trump, back in charge, inaugurated the 47th president of the United States of America. Did you guys catch that? Did you know that? Or is that new news?
I heard of it, yeah.
I heard something
You
about
heard
that.
about that? Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We're not a political show, right?
No.
I'm just going to throw things out there. You
Okay.
can comment if you'd like to comment, or we can just move on to the next thing, okay? So some things from the inauguration yesterday. Do you notice Trump didn't put his hand in the Bible when he took the oath of office?
Afterwards, I saw a post about it. I didn't notice at the time.
Now, apparently there's no law requiring presidents to swear on a Bible. You can literally put your hand on a copy of anything. Or, like Trump did yesterday, you just don't do it.
He just didn't do it. Okay.
So I guess that's not a big deal. Melania?
Her hat?
Your hat?
Hamburglar?
Yes.
The Undertaker. I've seen a lot of takes on that one, yeah.
Her hat blocked out any attempts at a kiss. So
I saw you.
Trump walked up to give her a kiss, and he couldn't get close enough because the brim of the hat was poking him away. So he had to just settle for like an air kiss.
Dan, did you hear the joke he made where he said the wind from the helicopter she was going to blow away because the hat she was wearing?
No, I didn't.
Didn't see that. That was funny. So that got some meme attention. Bernie Sanders got more meme attention. 4 years after his sitting with a with the mittens on, cold at the last one, he got attention this time because there was a standing ovation for Trump. And he sat with her arms crossed tightly, sitting. He was like the only one sitting, just miserable old man.
I didn't see that.
Nah.
I could picture it, though.
Like, do you think he goes into these inaugurations like, what am I going to do this time?
Oh, yeah,
What
he
am I
knows.
gonna do? We had talked in the 5 things this morning about Trump's rich buddies.
This was my focus.
Bezos, Zuckerberg, and who else was there?
Musk?
Musk, yeah.
Musk,
The rich bros all hanging out. Bezos' fiance was sitting next to Zuckerberg.
He was sneaking a peek. He
Yeah.
is human after all.
He's not an alien.
He couldn't resist. Like, I saw a couple peeks he took. She was wearing, it was almost like a bra lingerie top under a blazer.
Classy for an inauguration. You're right, yes. But Bezos was sitting on one side, her, and then Zuckerberg, and he was like all eyes. I'm like, Zuck, man up. Like, don't play it cool, dude.
But he's so dorky. Probably never seen boobs before.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, what do you mean? That's what he started Facebook for, was a hit on chicks.
Oh, yeah, I
Like, that's the
forgot.
whole thing. Elon, of course, got a lot of attention for his salute thing. What was he doing there?
I don't know.
What
What a
was
strange guy, everything about him.
All those rich guys. We said it earlier.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
think
be.
you gotta be.
Exactly.
I don't know.
The line between genius and insanity is so thin. I'm serious. It's like
No.
a tightrope. Like
Yeah.
you're so close. So they're all like on that edge. I think they're just like
Just an oddness.
Yeah, a little light wind away from blowing it to the other side.
I 100% agree. Like if they weren't rich and weren't like geniuses, they'd be freaks. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly it. John Fetterman, you know who this is? He's the Pennsylvania senator.
Oh,
he's,
shorts?
He's just a guy that like does his own thing. You can dress him up, can't take him out though. He wore shorts and sneakers to the Capitol for the swearing-in ceremony.
There's always one.
Short, like always one guy. They moved it inside because it was too cold. And he's like, perfect. I can wear my shorts and my sneakers. I kind of got to give it to him, though, for just being like...
He doesn't want to be in that stuffy suit. And that thing went on for so long. I watched like the swearing in. I went down for a nap after. I woke up 2 hours later. The parade was going. I'm like, how long is this thing on for?
He looked
doesn't
like
want to dress up.
a news anchor that's only dressed from the top up.
Yeah, he just threw on his athletic shorts and said, let's do this thing.
Yeah, I've got a basketball pickup game I got to get to right after this. And, you know what? I got some more on some of the performances because there were some weird things going on there. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But that's the things I wanted to hit on this morning. Did we miss anything from the inauguration yesterday?
No, I think Zuckerberg sneaking a peek and Melania's hat were the two main takeaways I had.
Yeah, Zuck just looking there like a weirdo. Like that was. Oh, did you see Caitlyn Jenner? So
No,
Caitlyn
actually.
Jenner was there, and then Trump makes a point of saying they're only going to recognize two genders,
Uh-huh.
and then Caitlyn's just sitting there, and I'm like, what a weird position
That's
you're
a
in.
That is
whole
an
other
odd thing, yeah.
I guess Caitlyn's like, well, I've done both, so I only need two. It was there was a lot of moments there yesterday, but I think those are the highlights, lowlights, highlights.
Yeah, I like watching the facial expressions of like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden because they're sitting right there, right behind Trump when he's speaking.
What about Bush? Bush looked like a kid in kindergarten giggling like at a school play. Just making eyes at people. Like just had a hard time focusing. It's just a group of interesting people.
It's just fascinating. It really is.
Gotta love it. I guess we really can't do much about it. It is what it is, right? Talking about the inauguration yesterday. The performances, there was just a list of names, like a bunch of big names were involved. A couple of them didn't have good times. So Billy Ray Cyrus at the ball last night, following the inauguration, he tried to sing Old Town Road.
Oh, okay.
Didn't go well.
I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna.
What is happening?
What? I don't even know what the vision was.
Yeah, Billy Ray Cyrus, old achy breaky.
I literally sound better than that when I'm singing in the shower. Like
He sounds like Marge's sisters after a pack of darts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Listen to this.
I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna. I can't no more. Y'all can put your hands together now like that. If you encourage me, I'll keep going. They told me to kill as much time as possible. So, does anybody know the words to "Achy Breaky Heart"? While I'm here,
Well, I'm here.
I can I'll try a little bit. Let's see what happens. Hey, is my guitar still on? I think they cut me off.
Yeah.
wow.
Ugh.
That's something.
Wow. Yeah, that didn't go so well.
Huh.
That was a tough look for him. Carrie Underwood, you felt for her. She was going to sing America the Beautiful, and there was about 2 minutes of her just standing there waiting for the music to start. And finally, she kind of like whispers to somebody just off, off screen. It's like, I'll just sing it myself.
Yeah.
And she, obviously she's got a great voice.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves.
Yeah, she's got a voice, eh? Like, she
Yeah.
can sing.
That's pretty good, yeah, for
I thought
acapella.
that of all the performances, I thought that was pretty good though, a
Yeah.
cappella, and and then you had the whole thing of everybody else joining in, singing along. I thought it was an interesting vibe.
But what about the fact that she wasn't prepared to sing an acapella and then did?
Yeah.
And then killed it.
Yeah.
I know. It's like a true performer. And I agree, Matt. I liked seeing everyone sing along with it. Everyone from both sides sing
Yeah.
along.
Apparently, though, she threw a hissy fit. This is the story going on. She threw a hissy fit because of the audio issue, and she was not satisfied with her performance. She also was expecting a stage. That was the one weird thing. She was kind of like,
She was just there, yeah.
Yeah.
she was just standing in the crowd. Like, if you're going to perform, you kind of need a stage. Otherwise, you're just the person standing
Yeah.
next to me, right? She was upset she was not afforded the same level of respect and admiration that previous performers such as Beyonce and Lady Gaga had received at previous inaugurations. So the rumor mill is saying that she was throwing a hissy fit.
Well, you could kind of tell in her face that she was not happy.
Kind of like, let's just do this
Yeah.
and we'll do the best we can.
Do you think Billy Ray threw a hissy fit?
I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm going.
Acapella gone bad versus acapella gone good.
The crowd sounded better than he did in that one.
Man, we got 'em down in Florida.
So I'll just take a minute. Just picture ourselves in Florida right now.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But they're having a deep freeze too.
Well, not a deep freeze. They're like cold for them freeze. We would take it. We'd be in the pool still
Oh, yeah.
down there. So let's just take a moment, put ourselves in Florida. We got our bathing suits on.
Beautiful.
Yeah, sun hats. Feels good, eh? Florida or Bust every Tuesday morning at 6:40. Headlines from around the world. Allanah and Matt, your job is to tell me, did these stories happen in Florida or somewhere else? Okay, so Allanah, you start us off today. Here's the headline. A serial butt slapper is on the loose. A serial butt slapper is on the loose. Florida or Bust? Where is this serial butt slapper?
Bust.
Bust is right. This is in Colorado. And cops are being asked to identify this guy. A woman in the Denver suburb was out jogging on New Year's Day when he drove up behind her on an e-bike and slapped her on the butt. A day later, he did it again to a different woman, same area, same kind of deal, slapped her in the butt. 2 other incidents have been reported so far. Someone got a shot of him on his e-bike, but you can't see his face. Sounds kind of funny, but that's sexual assault. You
Yeah,
can't be doing
totally.
that.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, serial butt slapper, dude on an e-bike, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I had higher respect for the guy on the e-bike.
Did you?
Out slapping butts. All right, Matt. Headline: Groom cancels wedding, marries another woman on the same day.
Ooh.
Groom cancels wedding, marries another woman on the very same day. Florida Bust.
I'm going to say bust.
Bust is right. This happened in China. Police were called to mediate a dispute between a bride and what would have been her husband. It all began when the bride-to-be waited in her gown for her fiancé until he texted her to cancel the reserved time at the wedding venue. He told his bride-to-be that he had been arrested for brawling and was not able to attend. But her relatives soon discovered he was not in jail and instead was marrying another woman down the hall at the same venue.
This is a wild ride.
Wow.
Literally down the hall. He got deep into that one, and he just couldn't get himself out of it. And he's like, well, guess I got to make a decision today.
Huh.
It's down the hall.
Ruthless.
Like, dude, I see you. What are you doing? All right, Allanah. A guy clung to the side of a bullet train for 20 miles. Guy clings to the side of a bullet train 20 miles. Florida or Bust?
Bust.
Bust is right. Another correct one. 40-year-old man in Germany lucky to be alive after clinging to the side of a bullet train for 20 miles. He had hopped off to smoke a cigarette when the train stopped, and he didn't get back on in time. So he didn't want to be late. He jumped between the 2 train cars and hung on while it hit 175 miles per hour.
Yikes.
Wow.
Still smoking a dart, too.
Okey.
Just one hand. Reminds you of like those garbage guys back in the day. Remember they'd hang off the back of the garbage truck?
Yeah.
Dart on one side of the mouth, like just holding on for dear life.
That's 280 kilometers an hour.
Yeah,
like
big
I'm-
deal, eh?
I feel like my heart would give out.
Light another dart and hang on tight.
Sheesh.
All right, Matt, headline, last one. Let's go perfect today. Another idiot was caught with drugs in a bag labeled definitely not a bag of drugs. Okay, another one was caught with drugs in a bag labeled definitely not a bag full of drugs. Florida or Bust?
These are always Florida. I'll say Florida.
You think so?
Yeah,
You want to go
no,
perfect
it's going to
today?
be wrong, but I'll say Florida.
Matt's going to say Florida.
Yes, it's always Florida.
Yes. 31-year-old woman in Florida was arrested last weekend on possession of drug charges for the second time this month. This time, she was caught carrying drugs in a bag that was labeled definitely not a bag full of drugs. This is the third time it's happened in the last year. A woman was caught with drugs in the exact same bag in October, and it happened back in July as well. There's like somebody on Etsy just making a bag that says not a bag of drugs.
Definitely.
By the sounds of it,
Definitely.
that's what it is, and it's meant to be like for your luggage so that you can put your medications in there. It's kind of like one of those hee-hee, ha-ha moments. Like, hey, it's just my medication. Well,
Hilarious.
These people thought they could pull one over with a bag of drugs.
It's like, perfect, just what I was looking for.
What do you want, Etsy? Googling,
Not drug bag.
Exactly.
perfect. What the gift I've always wanted. Finished dinner last night, and I got a phone call. You don't get many phone calls nowadays, right?
Yeah, it always kind of gives me that feeling of like, what's this for? What's this about?
Exactly. It said Laurier, Wilfrid Laurier University. That's where my daughter goes to school. And I thought,
Ooh.
why are they calling me? Like, it's not like, Matt, if your kid's school called you, you'd be like, okay, what's going on with the kids?
Yeah.
Like, they don't do that in university. Like,
Yeah.
the dean doesn't call you to tell you they missed class today, right? Like, that doesn't
It
happen.
must have been scary.
So I was like, hello? Hello, is this Mr. McLeod? Yes. Hi, I'm Emily, a fourth-year chemistry student from Wilfrid Laurier University. Uh-huh. Do you have time to talk about donations to the school? I'm like, donations to the school? Did somebody tell you I'm rich?
Yeah.
Like, what donations am I making to the school? And I guess you don't you don't get unless you ask, right?
Uh-huh.
Right.
But I would think those calls aren't very fruitful.
Well, I was going to say, are they calling everyone, be like, oh, you got $5 or $10? Or are they calling people who they think are money bags who can make like $10,000 donations?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, you're barking up the wrong tree. Trying to get blood from a stone.
Exactly.
I am not donating. I think my daughter made a wise choice. She loves the school. Everything's been great. We have no complaints. But I'm like, I'm not a donor. Like, do they ask everybody?
Yeah, that's what I'd want to know. What kind of, like, are they thinking they're going to get a donation and name a wing after you? Like that kind of donation?
The McLeod. I don't even know what it would be for. I was like, what? She goes, is there a better time to talk? And I'm like, I don't know. After I win the Lotto Max. Like,
Exactly.
what are you asking me?
Yeah.
How'd she get what is your daughter telling people?
Well, I guess because I've helped pay tuition. They know who they.
There's your donation. You're like, I'm
Yeah,
plumb
that's
out of
my
money.
donation.
I'm
Exactly.
plumb out.
You know what I had to do to get that? Some unspeakable things. You're getting more money. Has your school ever reached out to get you to donate? Like, you went to what?
St. Clair.
St. Clair. Matt, you went to Fanshawe, right? I went to Loyalist in Belleville. They've asked, and I'm like, what? You
Oh.
know the course I took. What are you asking money for? What's going on?
I think I get letters in the mail every once in a while.
Yeah.
I've
But-
never been asked.
Well, that's the thing. Like, why haven't you been asked? Why am I asked?
I don't know.
But
I
who's
mean, it's-
donating? Like, unless you've got millions of dollars and you're naming a wing, I'm like, do you want? Maybe I could cough up $50, but I'm like, you ain't naming anything on me. Like, maybe in the dining hall, you could name like a special after me.
Yeah, Sloppy Joe's.
Yeah, the McLeod
He
Sloppy
donated
Joe wing.
$15, his legacy. It is interesting. Yeah, because to make a personal phone call, they can't be doing that just looking for a couple bucks.
Yeah, I've never had a phone call, but I've had just the classic standard letter in the mail.
I don't know what. She's like, I'll call you tomorrow. Then I'm like, okay. I couldn't even fight it. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you then. Anyway, guys, can you lend me a couple bucks? I can get the CK Mornings wing framed up over at Wilfrid Laurier. Or maybe they want me to come work for them to frame up the new wing. Maybe that's what it
That's
is.
what they meant. Donate your time.
Yeah, are you handy? Bring your hammer.
I think I had a warning shot fired at me at my apartment.
Uh-oh.
I'm a little bit nervous. I got home yesterday, piece of paper on the doorknob. I'm like, what's this? That doesn't happen often. Tenant memo. I brought it here.
Oh.
Feeding birds on balconies. We would like to remind all tenants that feeding birds on balconies is strictly prohibited. Recently, we had to bring in pest control to address bird-related issues in the building. This resulted in additional cost and inconvenience. Moving forward, if you are seen feeding birds on your balcony, you'll be held financially responsible for monthly bird trap service fees.
Whoa.
Bird droppings create an unpleasant environment and also contribute to unsightly appearance of our building. Please help us maintain a clean and healthy living space. Refrain from feeding birds.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, yes, you did it, how guilty are you?
Can I tell you? I spent 10 minutes thinking, who's feeding? My mind for some reason went to like a woman with bird seed in her hand, like the old lady in
Like
Home
the
Alone.
pigeon lady, yeah.
Yeah, like feeding them from out of her hands. So it took me about 10 minutes to be like, wait a second, I got a whole bird sanctuary. I got my bird feeder. I feed the finches. And they've been swarming it lately.
So you're 10. You're a 10. You're the one. You're not even like just littering the ground with food. You're like, you put a birdhouse in.
For some reason, bird feeder didn't cross my mind. Feeding birds, I thought people were just throwing seed or like feeding them out of their hand. But I got a bird feeder. I put it up like 2 years ago. The last couple of months, these birds have been going nuts. And I open the window. Me and my cat watch it. And it's like primetime television. I watch the birds. I'm like, there's the birds.
How
They're
old are
feeding.
you? You're like my mom's age.
I love it. I love it. I'm like, oh, yes, they're eating. Like, they're eating well. So I've been feeding the finches come, and there's like a dozen of them that swarm it, and I love it. And I was just about to fill it up because they ate it all, but now I think I got to go today after work.
What do you mean?
And get
You
rid of
think?
it.
I think you. There's no thinking. You need to get rid of that thing.
Unless it's worth the cost.
Yeah, how much
Yeah,
are
good call,
what
Matt.
am I being charged for? Financially responsible for bird trap service fees.
I wonder, you should look into whether they can actually hold you liable for that.
Oh, you think they're bluffing?
I think they might be.
I don't know. I got to check my tenant agreement if
Yeah.
anything about bird feeding.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
they're
want
not
any
domesticated.
trouble.
They're not like domesticated animals. There's wild animals. There just happens to be a bird feeder out there.
I just happen to be feeding them and
Yeah.
inviting them over.
I didn't know a bird feeder is a common thing. It took, like I said, it took me 10 minutes to be like, oh wait, that's
you're-
me.
You're on the ground floor though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in my mind, the birds are just coming from the ground floor. I
Yeah,
love
was gonna
watching
say if
them.
you're like up a couple floors and then they're pooping down below,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
an issue.
yeah.
But
I thought about sending an email saying like, oh, is this about my bird feeder? But I'm like, just leave it alone. I'll deal with it tomorrow.
no, they're well aware you have a bird feeder. I don't think you're going to out yourself with that. I think you need to find out.
Ask them
Yeah.
if they're strictly talking about bird feeder.
Well, yeah.
Well, look, it's a bird feeder.
Can you like camouflage your bird feeder?
I don't even think they know because I'm like
With
that.
a tree.
The birds just happen to be landing in this like weird tree-looking thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm like, oh man, I gotta get rid of my bird feeder. The birds are gonna come. They're gonna be like, where's the feeder?
You're like my mother, who's like in her 70s. And what are you doing, Mom? Watching the birds.
Oh, it's
9
great.
times out of 10 I call her. She's just watching birds.
The other day they came, I was on the couch. I turned off the TV just to watch
Yeah,
them
you're my
swarm.
mom. Yeah. What are you doing, Mom? What are you watching? Just watching the birds.
I know everything I get in trouble for is so lame.
But then my mom's got like whole stories for them. Like this one's the mean one. And this one takes the food from that one. They don't get along.
Yeah,
they
you
don't.
start to know. Some of those finches, I can tell who the dominant finch is, who gets the food. Some of them, the little babies, they don't let them in.
You better hope these birds are willing to cover your butt when they
No,
kick
they're
you
going to
out.
go to the next bird feeder. They're going to forget all about me.
Yeah, 100% they are. They're using you. There's other bird feeders. They're tag teaming. They're two-timing you.
Oh, they look so happy. So now I got to go.
They
Freezing.
look so happy. How? Why is a bird smiling?
You could just tell. They're like, it's like they found the gold mine. They're like, oh yeah, bird feeder.
So much happens in that apartment building, eh, man?
No kidding.
Like her landlord finds her underwear.
Wow.
Oh, you know, a sports bra.
Your hot neighbors. Is your hot neighbor collecting birds too?
I don't believe so.
Careful. So what are you going to do now? You're going to take it down?
Well, I guess I'm going to have to go take it down today and throw it out.
It's for the birds, Allanah. You may have seen this going around the news. Professional athletes are being targeted by like a burglary ring. So like Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, some NBA players, and one of the most recent is Evgeny Malkin, who is a player for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Wow.
Where these burglars know they've got a game. Like Patrick Mahomes is like on a Monday night, so he's obviously at the game. He's playing. We're watching him on TV. Malkin from the Pittsburgh Penguins, he's on the ice, so is Holmes a target? So these and they believe it's a ring. Like they believe it's not just one person. They believe it's like a group that is targeting these athletes, and they break in when they're at the game. So they've been warned and they've amped up the security. So Malkin last week, or I guess a week and a half ago now, had somebody break into his home and stole his Stanley Cup rings.
Oh no.
3 Stanley Cup rings. So it was announced that, hey, yeah, this Stanley Cup rings all gone. Couple days later, it was announced the Stanley Cup rings were found at a different location in the house.
Oh.
Which, first of all, so
Okay.
like what a mind, you know what,
Yeah.
by breaking into the house and then just moving something. Like these burglars are just, now you're just playing games with them.
That's
Yeah, what happened
psychological.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's so. Yeah, his Stanley Cup rings were found. They were just at a different location in his, imagine a giant home.
Yeah.
Like what a wild, what a mess that would be. Oh, never mind. I found them. They're right here. I put them in another drawer. They're right here. Got them. Like that would just somebody break into your house and just move things.
Yeah, just move things slightly,
Oh, man.
rearrange photos a little bit.
But it made me think. So obviously this story here, somebody broke in, somebody stole some other stuff. The rings, not so much. They just moved them. But it made me think of like when you lose something and then you tear the house apart and you're like, oh my gosh, I lost it. You can make whatever a big deal of it. And then it's right there under your nose.
It seems like whenever the harder you look for something, the less likely you are to find it, and the more likely you are to find it in a stupid spot.
Yeah.
A few days later.
It's the worst when that happens. You feel like such a toolbox. So the question I'm asking you today is, what did you lose but found right underneath your nose? Kim sent in a text and said his phone while he's on it. Like, yes.
Yeah, you have that moment of panic. You're like, oh, what did I do with my... Oh.
Your heart drops. Yeah, the phone always feels like it goes
Or like your
missing.
glasses when they're on the top of your head.
Mm-hmm.
Or I feel like
there they are.
The remote control. I will go up and down my house. Where's the remote control? Yeah. And it's on like a table that I placed it on.
Or you threaten your family members.
Mm-hmm.
You go look. You have it somewhere.
Where did you put it?
I know you always blame someone else when you lose something.
It's
You're like, who
pocket.
took it?
What did you lose but found right under your nose? The Pizza Tonight studio lines are open at 519-354-8684. I've lost my wallet. I told you this. Remember I went to Toronto last, November or something?
Not that long ago.
Yeah, woke up the next morning. It was a little bit of a fuzzy night. I woke up the next morning. We're leaving the hotel. I'm like, I can't find my wallet. It's gone. It's gone forever. It's gone forever. So I start making plans already. I'm canceling credit cards on the train home. I'm like, yep, that's done. Got home. It's in the suitcase.
Yeah.
It's right there. I've done that numerous times. I've canceled things. I've ordered a new license, and my wallet's right there. Right there. It's the worst. Then you have to play dumb, like, found it.
Yeah.
I have to make a big stink about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost my debit card. A couple years ago, I lost it. Same thing. I blamed everyone. I'm like, oh, who took it? Someone stole it. I searched up and down everywhere I could search. Months later, cleaning out my car, it fell between the console. But I'm like, I looked there. Like, who put it there?
The Bermuda Triangle of the car? Things just disappear. I've done that. Lost a wallet. I tore apart the car. I looked up and down and found it there months later after I'd ordered everything else. Yeah. Oh. What did you lose but found right underneath your nose? Matt, you got something?
Do you know how often that happens when your kids have like stuffies or whatever?
Oh,
it's like you tear the whole house apart and it's like, where is this thing? I'm looking at it. Forget it. You're just going to have to sleep without it tonight. And they're bawling their eyes out. Oh, whatever. Fine. And then you go to their bed and it's like you lift up their pillow and it's like, it was right there.
Literally right there.
The whole time. Are you kidding me?
What did you lose but found right under your nose? Asking the question today, what did you lose but found right under your nose? We've all done it. Think it's gone forever. And it's sitting right there. So we've opened up the Pizza Tonight studio lines at 519-354-8684. Call or text if you got something to add to our list. We got some interesting responses in the text lines this morning.
Gord says, I've left, in brackets, lost, a kid at a ballpark. Was sitting down to dinner with the rest of them and suddenly asked, where is Matt?
Wow.
Poor Matt.
Matt's get left behind, buddy.
Yikes.
Be careful there.
Terrence says, I lost my dog, thought she got out of the backyard, looked everywhere, checked the neighborhood, found her in the house. I didn't realize I had let her in.
I've done that too. Like, I left the gate open. She's gone forever.
Gone. And she's just
sitting
there,
in the window
lounging.
watching me.
Yeah, like, what are you doing? And Tiffany says, literally just this morning, I was making my lunch. I took out the leftovers and set them on the counter. Went in the fridge again to grab them and yelled at my husband for throwing them away. He was just staring there, looking at me dumbfounded.
I had a buddy text me personally. He said that he thought he lost his keys for his vehicle. Mm-hmm. And you know how the fobs nowadays, like the keyless entry, like those aren't cheap.
No.
They're expensive. He went to the process of actually having to go to the dealership, order new keys.
Oh, man.
And found them. But then he's too deep into it.
Yeah.
So now he just has to act like, so now he's got a new set of keys.
Huh.
And you couldn't just back out of it. I've done that before. You're just like, never mind.
A couple of weeks ago, I was on my way to work, and I could not find my keys. They're supposed to be in one spot always. They never move from that spot. I was about to text you and be like, I can't get to work. I can't find my key fob. I don't know where it is. I found it in my laundry basket because I need the key fob to get in and out of the laundry room in my apartment, and I forgot to take them out, so it was in the bottom of my laundry basket. The panic in my body.
The despair when you've lost something like that, and you blame everybody around you.
Yeah, why do we all do that?
Where's my keys? Where are they? And it's just you, truly, sitting right there underneath your nose. Janet sends in a text. My daughter put her wallet on top of her car and put her kids in the car and drove off. A very nice person found them, returned them.
Wow.
I've seen that happen.
I feel like my parents are becoming like side characters in the show because they're always up to something. This is where I get it from. Last time we checked in with my mom, she was fostering the kittens in my childhood bedroom.
Yeah, she was running the cat hospice.
The kittens are doing well. I get my bi-weekly updates. Yesterday I heard about how they smashed one of her pots because they were playing, but
How many cats is she up to now?
there's 2.
Still 2, okay.
And whenever I go, she goes, look in your bedroom window. They always peek out the window. I'm like, okay. So this woman, she loves onion rings. Like, this is her thing. She loves onion rings.
It's a weird transition.
No,
Yeah, this is like,
this is the next,
where's this
the
going?
next thing. Loves onion rings. Like, that's her number one thing. She always gets them. Over the weekend, she said, you want to come over? We're doing onion ring wars.
Who's doing onion ring wars? Her and Al?
And me. So she got onion rings from every like fast food. The rule was it had to be a chain restaurant or like a fast food restaurant.
Okay. What?
And her and my dad tried each one to crown the winner, the best onion ring around town. She did this before. She did chicken sandwich wars when the Popeye sandwich was really big a couple years ago. And they have a Chick-fil-A in Windsor because they live in Windsor. So she got Chick-fil-A and Popeye's chicken sandwich, and she cut them up into quarters and had my dad do like
She got them into
Did
quarters.
you think like you were going to tell us a story and then you realized, man, I've gone too far. I can't not tell the story now? This is wild.
This is her thing. She'll do like food wars. So it was onion ring wars. And yeah.
As crazy as this sounds, Matt, maybe I'm alone. I think this is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to compare them.
She was very excited, so she ran around town getting her little taste testers or whatever.
Did you have like an insulated bag too?
I think she puts them in the air fryer. They all get a fair shake because she can't get the first one
Well,
first,
yeah,
and then
exactly.
half an hour later
Yeah,
you get
it's
another
cold,
one. Of
yeah.
course,
Cold
the
onion
last
rings,
one's gonna
yeah.
be better. So she puts them in the air fryer, sets them up, gives us a dip,
Is
and then.
but is it a blind taste test?
I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
Or
This
do you
one
know-
wasn't. This one wasn't. I believe the chicken sandwich wars was a blind taste test. This one,
Chicken sandwich wars.
yeah. So I wonder what the next one will be.
Well, don't leave us hanging.
I think A&W was the winner.
Oh, really?
Yep, I think that's what came up on top.
I would have said Harvey's. Harvey's has got a good wing. Did you have the Harvey's as an option?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, because they do have the onion rings too. A&W was the winner. They got the thick batter on there. There was criteria.
This is serious. I mean, if it's gonna be a war, it's got to be serious though.
And you should see the excitement. She comes with they're in the little like holders, right? Or whatever, the cardboard holders. She's like, okay, this one.
Okay, what's your dad doing this? Is he into it?
Core free onion rings.
Oh.
Force-fed onion rings. He's not complaining.
Now, is there like other food, or is it just onion rings?
Just onion
Is that-
rings.
It's
Whoa.
like an appetizer, or is this post meal? What's the?
No, this was strictly onion rings. There's a lot of
Oh.
onion rings to get through. I think there was probably like 5 or 6 we had to try.
I'm not against
Wow.
this. I'm pro onion ring wars.
Yeah?
Yeah, I kind of
Something
like
to
that.
do. I mean, my mom is retired, so she's got the luxury of doing onion ring wars and chicken sandwich wars.
I like this idea.
This was good because I couldn't get in on the chicken sandwich wars because I don't eat meat, but I heard all about it. That was a big excitement.
No, she's like, well, I got to do something that Allanah can be a part of. I'm in with it, Lynn.
Lynn,
Yeah, I
any
like
other
the
foods
Lynn.
I suggest? Mozzarella stick wars?
Lots of
That'd
sticks,
be a good
yeah,
one.
but those are hard to find. They're not they're
Yeah.
not as readily available.
I mean, fry wars would
Fry
be
wars.
just
Yeah,
the
that's it,
ultimate.
yeah.
We might need some brackets for that one.
Start doing like a March Madness pool, Maddie.
Yeah.
Start betting. I think there's plenty of opportunities. Lynn's onto something here. I'm not. It sounds silly. It's very silly, but Lynn's got something here she's working with.
Oh, yeah. So now we know. A&W.
Yesterday apparently was the most depressing day of the year. It's the third Monday of the year, the third Monday of January, and they say that's the day that it's Blue Monday. Accumulation of all the bad things. You're far enough from the holidays. You're far enough away from your next holiday. Bills starting to pile up. The weather's crappy. And
Lots of factors.
yeah, all that's factors. It's Blue Monday. It's supposedly the most depressing day of the year. Did you guys all make it all right? Nothing bad besides the bitter cold.
Yeah, overall, I guess.
We saw a little bit of sunshine yesterday. It wasn't too bad.
No,
right?
yesterday was, it's not too bad.
Yeah, you just ignore the fact that it was freezing. Well, there's been a campaign launched in Matt's homeland of the Netherlands. A positivity campaign was launched in the Netherlands yesterday to not complain for 30 days. And they said this is their follow-up to Blue Monday. So in the Netherlands, they're going to not complain for 30 days. The person who came up with it says the idea is a way to shift your perspective from all the whining, moaning, and negativity that's in the world. It's kind of like a challenge, really, because we probably already failed. But they say when you get the urge to complain, you're supposed to stop and think, why am I grumbling right now, and is it necessary? And do you really have a reason to whine compared with some people less fortunate? Sometimes you got to stop and go, yeah, I got it pretty good, right? And comparatively, you can look around and you got a lot better than some people. But this is an idea, kind of like our Positivity Day we had a couple years ago. It's a positivity campaign, and those in the Netherlands have started it. Matt, your people, our people, are behind this. What do you think?
I think Holland is a little different than when my grandparents grew up there, but a lot of the Dutch people I know, it'd be kind of tough to not complain for 30 days. They're pretty forthright, so they'll speak their mind.
I like it. I think I could do it.
You think you could do it?
Yeah.
You think you could go a month without complaining?
Yes. I mean, I have to stop myself. Can you complain like subconsciously? Or is it verbal complaints?
I think you have to outwardly complain. I think we all have to hear it.
I could hold my complaints inward for a month.
I don't think you could.
No?
No, I don't think you could. Not
you
a chance.
couldn't.
What do you mean?
30 days. You can't go 30 seconds.
What are you saying? My Dutch people are saying that we can do this. I'm with them.
Out of all three of us, I think I would do the best. Then Matt, then you.
Yeah,
What?
I don't think I would do great either, though.
You think I'm a complainer?
Am I just
Why are you
breaking
biting
this
your
to
tongue?
you?
Yeah.
Is that a complaint? Am I complaining about you complaining?
Are you complaining about me right now? The idea is to see how often you complain. That is really a eye-opener. All right, I'll do better.
It would be interesting. Like, imagine every time you complain, you jot it down or something. You'd probably look at that list and be like, my goodness, do I ever shut up?
No, I think you need to get your ear flicked. Like something's got to happen.
Like a little shock collar.
Yeah,
a rubber band
exactly.
on your wrist, so
A
then you
rubber band.
snap it. Yeah.
Yeah, like a snap right in your neck.
Oh.
Yeah. There we go. Jeez, stop complaining right there.
That escalated. Punched right in the face.
Oh, wouldn't you stop complaining then?
Probably it would shift your mindset.
Complain
that's
a
for
lot
sure.
less.
I need to complain about the shock collar or whatever.
Yeah.
I hate this thing.
This really drives me. Oh man. Matt, you're right though. Like back when my Oma and Opa were still around, this would not fly.
No, they're.
Yeah. That's not their. That wasn't their upbringing.
No, the Dutch are known
No.
for complaining.
Well, my grandparents specifically, Oma and Opa would not. Yeah, Val, it's so cold here today. Back in Amsterdam in Helmond, it was never this cold.
You get the good, the bad, and the ugly, though. Like, they just speak their mind. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So the complaints just flow.
Yeah. Oma, you'd walk in the house and Oma would just let you know how she felt that
Yeah.
day. Like how you looked. Yeah, everything was like just torn right down. You knew what you're doing. Yeah, Christopher, you're wearing that shirt makes you look fat.
Yeah.
Come in and eat a Hagelslag sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, well, that's
yeah,
why I'm fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Val, just keep eating, Christopher. Just keep eating. It's interesting, though, that the Dutch came up with this, not to complain
Yeah.
for 30 days.
Huh.
Okay.
All right, so what are we doing? Punches in the face? How we?
Punching a shock
Yeah.
right to the system.
Listen online every weekday morning at 94.3 CKSY.com. Weekends on in case you missed it, or tune into the podcast weekdays. Subscribe, rate, review, and tell your friends all about the CK Mornings in case you missed it podcast.